This is On the Money with your financial advisor, Ryan Wheelis. I'm really enjoying this new segment, not only because it's really informative, I'm learning a lot from it, but you get really excited about it. Continued horror stories from saving for your own retirement. We had a 62-year-old. I want to go back over a couple of things on her, but you said you had another one. She was, feeling bad about trying to spend her own money? What was that about?
This lady was married. The husband's done very well financially. She got $1.5 million in the divorce settlement. Has the money with a guy over at a big box retail firm. We all know the name of him. Every time she calls over the last 14 years now to get money to buy a new car, put a roof on the house, air conditioner, whatever it is. And keep in mind, she's working, okay? And she works, but she's now 60 and she's tired of working. And the challenge she was having was she wanted to stop working and came to me because she has this lump sum of money. It's about $2 million, by the way. And she's trying to figure out, well, wait a minute. At some point in time, I want to retire. And one of my friends recently retired with less money than me. But my advisor shames me every time I call and ask for money. It's like, I don't want to call and ask for my money because I feel he shames me. Like, what is this money for? What are you doing? Why are you spending this money? You can't spend this money. You're going to not be able to retire, right? And then she just kind of felt like it wasn't her money and she wasn't in control of things. And so she came to one of our master classes. Again, we teach this all around Houston, and, anybody can call the office and register for one. And she came in and we sat down and had this conversation. And I just told her, it's interesting to me because sometimes these big box firms really do forget whose money this is. And what's really interesting, by the way, is she had an annuity in this mix. Guess who the owner of the annuity was?
Was it the same place where the money?
The company owned it.
All right. We need to explain that though for folks. I get what you're saying. It independence.
It means that the asset was booked on the company's books, not her books. Mm-hmm. The beneficiary was also the company.
Wait a second.
Yeah. Now, she was the annuitant, so the policy was based on her and paid out to her, but the company owned it. And moving it, by the way, was a nightmare in this situation. So here's what's happening. When you go to these big box retail firms and you don't work with an independent like Allied Wealth, they are publicly traded companies. We are not. Okay, we're privately held, but they are publicly traded. And what's happening there is every time money leaves, there's less money in the kitty, so to speak, for them to charge fees and commissions to. So they don't want your money leaving. That's why they do what they do. And that's why this advisor, I believe, was making her feel like she shouldn't spend her money or shouldn't get access to her money. And she shouldn't irresponsibly spend. But with a lady with $1.5 million, if she needs a new car, she should be able to pay cash for the car and not have to go finance a car.
Yeah.
And that's what she was doing. She even financed an air conditioning system in her house. Like, what are we doing here? So she came in to talk to us and shared all these stories with us. And I said, listen, I want you to understand something. When you leave my office today, I am going to empower you to feel confident about your financial future. And we're going to do that first with some very simple calculations and very simple stuff that you can understand today. Okay. So we did all these things, Mike. And this lady, she only needs $60,000 a year in income, by the way. House is paid for, everything's paid for, except for a car, which we're paying off. And her air conditioning, she financed the darn air conditioners. We're paying that off. And she had a small amount of credit card debt, by the way. She racked up credit card debt because she was too scared to call the advisor to get money. And I'm like, you're paying interest on these things. This makes no sense. So we paid all that stuff off. It's gone. Okay. Then she needs about $60,000 a year in income. She's got $2 million. I can produce $60,000 a year in income on $2 million in my sleep. And so now, instead of going through the large times in Medicare planning and healthcare planning and retirement, which are some busy seasons, she doesn't have to work anymore. She's gained control of her money. She feels financially free now. And it was just mind-boggling to me that she kind of felt like she was in prison and didn't really understand what she had and the ability for her money to produce the income she needs for the rest of her life, growing for inflation. And we're not talking but a 3% distribution rate on her money, Spike. It's not a huge,
not a huge ask.
Not a huge draw on her portfolio. And she's going to get Social Security at 60. We'll probably take it at 67 for her. We might take it at 62, depends. Likely 67 in her case. She's going to be fine. But it's just amazing to me the number of people out there that they've got to feel, in a lot of cases, behind the eight ball. or feel like it's hopeless. And I just encourage you that it's likely not. You can likely live on a lot less than you think you can or you need in retirement because you're not saving in a 401k anymore. You're not paying FICA and Medicare tax. We can get your mortgage paid off. That's a big help.
Yeah.
But get all the toys bought before you retire down after. That's a huge help. So you may actually make it $100,000 a year from your job right now, but you actually may only need $50,000 a year in income to retire and live the same lifestyle you're living right now. Right? But we just don't know what we don't know, Spike. And oftentimes people wait until they're worn out and tired before they reach out to a financial advisor. And I encourage people and implore people to do that much sooner and get an understanding of what you got and the tools you have and how to use them.
My question for you and for our listeners and viewers is, how do they know the difference between who they're working with? The story that you told previously was that someone gave them an incorrect number. If you're going to need 120% of what your income is to be able to live in retirement, I'll take the flip side on that. Okay, maybe they were trying to factor in for inflation, but I doubt it. And so that number is incorrect. This person who just doesn't even feel like they can reach out to their financial advisor to ask for their own money, maybe you can tell me how your motivation is different from what those other kinds of firms are.
Well, Spike, you've got to look at a couple of things, right? The big give is the difference is who we work for. I don't work for a big box retail firm. I work for my clients. They pay me, not Schwab, for instance, because we custody assets at Schwab. I think that's an important aspect to look at, right? And then you've got to work with somebody who is willing to provide education and really sit down and share with you the concepts and ideas that are out there and available. Because, no two retirement plans at Allied Wealth look the same. They're all a little bit different. But through an educational process, we get to know the client. We know what they're trying to accomplish. We find out what tools they like and don't like, what risks they're willing to take, can take mathematically, don't want to take, right? And we custom tailor a plan just for them.
And we can custom tailor a plan for you. Very simply, you can call us on the phone, you can text us, you can go to our website, so many different ways, 844-944-7555. The text feature is really easy. You just open up your text, type in the word plan, and type 21000 in the number, and hit send. We'll get back in touch with you. Look, if you don't feel comfortable with who your financial advisor, if you're not getting the education, I think that happens with anything.
Let me tell you this. If you were diagnosed with terminal cancer by a doctor today and you've got 6 months to live, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Well, I know I'm going to get a second opinion.
I'm going to get a second opinion, right? We have a second opinion service at Allied Wealth. It's that simple. All you got to do to get that right now is just call us, right? We will look at what you've got, what you're doing. We'll stress test your current plan. Look at all the metrics of your portfolio, and if you're doing a good job, we will tell you that. And go stay with your advisor. Good job, all right? But if you're not, we will show you how to fix it.
844-944-7555. Get your second opinion. There's no cost to it. The time is what? 60 minutes, 90 minutes? Does it depend on how complex it is? Wouldn't you like to have a second opinion to know that you're doing okay for your retirement done in 60 or 90 minutes? At least that initial meeting, find out. If there's more digging, if there's more solutions to look for, then we'll probably bring you back and maybe even bring you back again. But the second opinion, to find out how you're doing right now, as we open up the show, more people are turning 65 by 2040 than at any time in U.S. history. Over 80 million people. Are you going to be one of them? Wouldn't you like to have a second opinion if your plan is going to work for you? 844-944-7555 is the phone number if you're listening on the radio, or just text us, 21000, type in the word plan, hit send on that. Some of the Texas statistics when we get back, if you don't mind, Ryan. We're going to dig into how many people are going to be turning 65 here. What does that also mean for long-term care facilities, Medicare, your doctors? Is your health plan going to stay the same?
Taxes.
Texas and taxes. When we get back with On the Money and Ryan Wheelis right after this.